Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, make sure you click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Todd, thank you for the super chat. As I always say, never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you for your continued support. And speaking of support, before we get into things, if you saw what I had posted out here earlier this afternoon regarding a DM, of course, I'm so terrible at checking DMs. I happened to be on the phone, saw a DM message indicator pop up, thought I would quick take a peek, and I received one of the nicest messages I have ever received pertaining to the content that I put out there. Let me just signal to you guys that the thing, it is sedimented right, indicated right here. The thing that provides me the greatest joy in doing this content is knowing that it does impact you in a positive way. So the degree to which you choose to share that with me and then carry it forward to other people to help to educate and inspire other people, that's all I ask for, and it's very appreciated. We are one community, learning from one another. Cheers, everybody. I got a black cherry Waterloo. So for you guys who do, I'm curious, for you guys who do sparkling water, what is your go-to name brand? Typically I do bubbly. I do LaCroix every now and then, but I like me some Waterloo. Waterloo, in my opinion, has the best flavor of any of the sparkling waters, quite honestly. And in general, I'm a citrus person or cherry. I love black cherry. I've also mixed these with vodka, which are quite good, but no vodka today. We're just going straight sparkling water. Rory, welcome in. Cassius, I haven't seen you in a little bit, brother. Good to see you in the live stream. Guys, wanted to situate you going into the weekend to talk about price action. I also kind of want to level set and have a conversation about realistic expectations in terms of what I'm anticipating over the next handful of weeks. I think more than likely, the way the market is chipping and chopping around, of course, if we look at the 12-hour here that we routinely look at, I just think we're going to continue consolidating in here for a little bit until we finally decisively break up over the course of the next, 1-2 weeks. It's really anyone's educated guess. I think the fundamental thing to keep in mind, there's two fundamental things. One, never lose sight of those higher time frame views that I continue to hone in on. Of course, we have the topping signals out there officially. None of them have fired. Things I'll be keeping an eye on. But all of the charts that I routinely share with you, or I'm retweeting or reposting from some of my friends on Twitter, are all indicating that we have much higher upside to go in this market. So don't lose sight of that. And number two, what I would say to you is, if it is indeed the fact that we continue to just sort of chop around here before all of a sudden we wake up one morning and Bitcoin's at $75,000, $76,000 in a 10% plus move, because that will happen. Mark my words, that will happen. It's actually very healthy for price. Very, very healthy for price, because I continue to hit on the fact that we want some of these price indicators to cool off, right? We don't want some of these overbought, historically significant overbought RSI signals on a weekly or 2 week or monthly firing up towards 90, right? Because historically, that's when we've seen an impulsive top. We want things to cool off right now, right? So not a bad thing at all. There was one other thing I wanted to hit on from a high time frame view. Oh, the other thing to keep in mind from a high time frame view, if you kind of want my expectations in terms of when you're truly going to see altcoins popping off, everything's waiting on Bitcoin right now, really. You have certain altcoins firing off. Of course, it should come as no surprise that WIF is having an is having a great day. You guys want to honestly know my opinion on how the power of social tokens and meme coins, and this is why I said there should be a portion of your portfolio dedicated to this space. I've said it. You want to hear a meme? You want to hear something funny in life? And how this goes against the grain of any traditional investor. In my retirement account, in my Bitcoin IRA account, I am invested in Doge and Shiba Inu. My retirement dollars, are invested. It's kind of funny when you think about it. My retirement dollars are in meme coins because I understand the power, the historical power of social tokens and just charts. I tell you guys, these live streams are not dedicated towards fundamentals. They are dedicated towards the charts. Doge has an extremely powerful chart that's beginning to play out. It's just beginning to play out. And if we go to where WIF is situated right now, it's sitting at, well, this is old. I wanted to share something with you. I had a thought. You can see dog with hat and H bar right next to each other. It would not surprise me, and I'm actually expecting, and this is, I am an H bar barian, but I'm a realist on the charts at the same time. I own H bar, I own a lot of H bar, and I also own a decent amount of WIF. I believe that WIF will more than likely outperform H bar, right? You want to talk about something crazy. They're lockstep with one another. I think dog with hat, WIF, could be the next big meme coin. Originally, I thought it was Bonk. I'm going to step back from that and say that it's going to be WIF associated with the Solana ecosystem. I think this thing's going to make a huge jump into the top 15 here. And if you're talking about making a jump into the top 15, you're talking about a market cap that could be upwards of 100 billion. That sounds crazy right now, but that's a 25x from where we're at, okay? So it is not, if you've been in this space for a while, it is not out of the realm of possibility that you're going to see WIF upwards of 70, 80, 90, 100 billion dollars. Not out of the realm of possibility. So something to keep an eye on. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to set us up for the weekend. The other thing that I had hit on, that I was going to hit on, is once Bitcoin does make that surge in price and we finally begin to see upwards momentum towards new all-time highs, that is what's going to build conviction and confidence within being in a more risk-on environment. People are going to want to shift their dollars from Bitcoin into altcoins. That's what's going to cause Bitcoin dominance to bleed, right? But let's pull up that chart, actually. I have so many thoughts, I just need to organize them. Did not do any prep for the live stream. Yeah, so some people have this drawn different ways, but it's like I must have tweaked this chart. I gotta turn up the air in here. Guys, can you give me 1 second? It is hot as shit in here. Whew. Holy crap. So I'll be honest with you. Probably part of the reason I'm so warm is because immediately before this live stream, I was quickly the Hispanic influence in my life. I was very quickly sweeping the floors and then wet mopping part of the floor. So just cleaning up, being a little bit tidy. I'm a very neat and organized person, very very tidy person. That's just the way I am. But anyway, let's have a conversation about. I'm jumping around here. I apologize. When Bitcoin does have that surge in value, right? When Bitcoin does have that surge in value and starts to go towards new all-time highs, it has that 10% plus candlestick. That's what ultimately, in my opinion, could potentially lead to that final last gasp. I've spoken to that. In Bitcoin dominance running up to, maybe 58%. We've spoken about that area before an eventual break. This is the main area. This is the main area that we're watching right here. We want to watch this ascending line right here. And once we begin to break down from that ascending line, that's ultimately what's going to signal the true beginning of massive runs in your altcoins and them surging in value. I think a lot of people, and I tried to hit on this before, I think a lot of people have recency bias. They have recency bias. And so because of that, what that causes is people to forget how hard this market can run and how quickly it is. I keep hitting on this, okay? Very important point. There's so much downtrend, right? It's not even consolidation, it's a correction, okay? 2022, going into 2023, massive correction, right? there's a recency bias to remember that period of time. People forget what 2017 looked like. People forget what 2021 looked like. So when things start to really take off, they take off extremely hard. And a rising tide does lift all boats. Even if you've had an underperformer, it's going to increase in value. It most likely will underperform the best performing assets. One of the key things that I've learned from investing is that you want to stick with your winners. Don't think that because you have an underperforming asset and it's been underperforming for the past 6, 7, 8 months, that's the token that you should put all of your financial net worth in because it's got to go up. No, there's a reason it's underperforming, and more than likely, it's going to continue to underperform, and you should just ride your winners. I've learned that, okay? A low market cap coin and a coin that has consistently underperformed for a consistent period of time, those are not good indicators to have a lot of conviction in mass appreciation to the upside. It should actually be the opposite. But anyway, I divulge a little bit. Let me get into the charts here. Let's kind of talk about expectations, things to look for, I guess, going into the week. Now, of course, we do have a monthly close coming up. So let's kind of talk about what would be nice to see before the monthly close. What we'd like to see, ultimately, I'm really jumping around today. Let's actually look at the monthly real quick. And chances are, when do we close out the monthly? On Easter? By the way, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. Yeah, so we're going to get the monthly close on Easter. Chances are I'm not going to live stream on the 31st. We'd have to see monumental price action come in on Sunday. If there is monumental price action that comes in on Sunday, count on me live streaming. But I do not think that's going to happen. So what do we want to see on the monthly? The main thing on the monthly, first off, this is going to close very bullish. Okay, let's move this out of the way. This is going to close very bullish. This is a very bullish candlestick. This is a very bullish chart. We're in good shape. And we're also going to take a look at the 3-month chart, something we're not going to really examine today. Regardless, we are looking extremely healthy from these high time frames, okay? Nothing concerning. But what's the one thing that, and we're getting the 20 crossing above the 50, which is great, moving average. But what is the one thing, if you would say to me, well, hey, CBG, what's one thing that you're hoping to see? There's actually two. There are two. And unless if we have an epic collapse in price, we're going to get both. So number one, the obvious is we want the highest monthly close that we've ever seen in history. Well, the highest monthly close that we've ever seen in history was back here technically. Technically, it was here and here. But it's really at this red line or somewhere around 62,000. Okay, let's just call it 62,000 and make it easy. It's below 62,000, but whatever. We're not going to fall in price 15% by Sunday. Okay, so we're going to have the highest monthly close we have ever had in the history of Bitcoin. And yet you still have people who are bearish, guys. Again, I want to reiterate this, okay? The people who were bearish here, 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 the people who decided to short like a moron here, and the people who continue to be bearish here. They've continually been wrong. They will eventually be right. We will be bearish at some point. But they've been bearish for a year and a half. Okay? So at some point, you gotta concede you've been wrong, right? Some people are just, I always in a humorous way think of my father. My father is one of the, no matter how smart that man is, he will look at this red line and he will tell you it's blue. He will just look you in the face and say, I'm sorry, CBG, but I see a blue line. Dad, there is a red line. This is a red line, man. Come on. Just adult to adult. Let's forget the father-son thing. That's a fucking red line. I don't know, son. I see a blue line. All right, Dad, moving on. So there are some people that just won't change their stance, right? It's the same people who swore that the halving date controlled everything. And so when Bitcoin had an new all-time high prior to the halving date, it blew people away and they were looking for narratives, right? These same people are still fixated on the halving date telling you what can and can't happen. It's insanity. It's insanity. It'll make sense in retrospect. Anyway, let's get back to the charts. The second thing we want to see on the monthly close, we just want the smallest possible wick here. If you ask me for an ideal close on Bitcoin from a psychological standpoint, I think it would be awesome if we could close the month at $70,000. Because what that does to the human psychology element, remember, human psychology is baked into these charts. If a chartist can look on here, there's two things to consider. If a chartist can look on this chart and say, wow, we've had the highest monthly close ever, and we closed a monthly candlestick at 70,000, like that psychological nice round figure, that does something positive, bullish to the human psychology. Same thing for someone who doesn't even read a chart. If it's brought up that Bitcoin closed out the month at $70,000 and people are just talking about it on CNBC or whatnot, again, it feeds into this positive narrative, right? So ideally, I'd like to see it close at $70,000. It doesn't have to close at $70,000, but I'd love to see it at $70,000 or above. Let's just make this wick as small as possible. Now, again, we've had in the history of Bitcoin here, I mean, look at this candlestick. This is not the most, let me move this thing out of the way. This is not the most bullish candlestick right here, right? We got this thin body, long wick, and we still ended up, we closed here at 33 and we went all the way up to 64, all right? So, again, just using the law of probabilities here to say, let's have a smaller wick. So, again, things are looking awesome though. So, we'll assess the monthly close more than likely on Monday, but let's kind of talk about, guys, again, for those who are new to the channel, I set this up in September of 2023, and so far, this is fitting like a glove. Unlike the glove that OJ tried on at the trial. For those who were old enough back in 1996, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Fun fact, actually, to digress to another Seinfeld reference. I was at work today, and I was in a meeting, and we're having a discussion about something. It was me and two other people on the call, and one guy says to me, or I said to him, I said, well, who was here before your time? Like, who was in charge of the model and populating the data? Oh, there was a guy, Kramer. And I was like, whoa, wait. Kramer? This dude's name was Kramer? Yes, at the company I presently work for, there was an individual at that organization that worked there, first name Kramer. So for all the Seinfeld fans out there, apparently that name is real. But yeah, everything has been going roughly in line with my expectations. We're having a little bit of a hard time getting above $69,000, $70,000. So what do we want to see out of this monthly close, right? What do we want to see out of this monthly close? Well, I mean, honestly, I have a red line of resistance drawn here at 69,482. And we have not had a weekly close above that level. So from a weekly close perspective, I'll make it really simple for you. Let's close. Is this at 69,482? Where's this at? Oh, 69,000? Okay. We have not had a monthly close. We've had it at 69,000, 69,026, whatever. I want to see a weekly close on Bitcoin on Sunday print at 69,100 or above. Currently, we're sitting at 69,500. So that's all we need. From a weekly perspective, I just want to close at 69,100 or above, all right? If we take a look at the technicals, the price indicators here, RSI is sitting pretty here. You see how, and this is what you guys, and I can understand this. This is why you're hopefully tuning in so I can explain this to you. You see how the relative strength index was increasing so high here that we almost began to touch this red line. I was starting to get a little nervous, actually. Now, if we started to interact with this red line and you followed the topping indicators, you would know this would be this would lead to a potential, well, I would go to the monthly. So this would lead to us getting overheated. Okay, of course, I would also be looking at the MACD and the descending resistance I spoke to. But if we started getting up to this 90 to 94 area, that would lead me feeling like we would be getting overheated. Of course, we need to wait for the candlestick to print, though. That's the key thing. But we were getting very, very close to that area. So it's good to see that price action has been topping off a bit. All the price indicators look great, though, guys. So that's what to look for on the weekly close. Let me mute my phone here. Apologies. Bitcoin dominance, there really isn't anything to watch for. Again, we're just waiting for this trend line to break down. What other charts can I show you to watch for? Is there anything interesting going on total? I mean, honestly, guys, I really... Yeah, there isn't a monumental amount of moves I'm expecting, really. I need to reconfigure this chart and draw out areas of additional price confluence there. I just don't think there's too much to watch for this weekend. I really don't. If I'm being 100% honest with you, which I always am, I think it's going to be a pretty dull weekend. I'm not expecting much. Ethereum. What is going on with this ETH-BTC ratio? We still haven't taken off yet. Now we are definitively breaking down below this trend line, right? This is, I will say this, the Ethereum BTC relativity chart is expressing more weakness than what I anticipated. We just broke a trend line that's been in place since December of 2016. Okay? Now, this is a zone of support here, right? So I think one of two things is going to happen here. And I've seen this play out all too many times before, so this wouldn't surprise me. We're either going to see that drop in dominance like this, and it's going to fool everyone. Everyone's thinking Ethereum's dying, and then we're going to shoot back up. Or we really are just plummeting in Ethereum value, Ethereum BTC relativity value. I believe something like this is going to pan out. I've seen it too many times before in this market. Something like this, but we'll have to see. Now, to me, because the strength is breaking down in this Ethereum BTC relativity chart, it really is beginning to call into question whether or not we're going to hit this high target up here. And you're going to see Ethereum flip Bitcoin for part of a day or a full day. It's starting to put it into doubt, into jeopardy, I should say. Making a little bit more doubtful in this end, though. Taking a look at Ethereum, I don't know, there's really nothing. You know what I would say? I want to simplify your life, actually. I'm going to take a couple TA questions. Of course, hopefully you guys, and I'll simplify your life in a moment here, you guys should remember this chart. This is the 3-day chart, 125 simple moving average. Every time we've been significantly under it and then had a candle body close back above it, we regained that footing above that moving average. I've shown the rates of appreciation. When I showed this in very early 2023, people thought I was insane. People probably, most of you, and you may not admit it. Maybe you're a fan of the channel, you're a supporter of the channel, and you're like, I don't want to tell CBG he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But even though this man sometimes makes sense to me, I think he may have a screw or two loose. Again, the way I explained it to you was we got the cross here. I just simply took the average of these rates of return, which I feel are very reasonable. That projects us up towards $130,000. So far, so good. So What, which is a great Metallica Megadeth album. So far, so good. And I would say that this 130 target, something close to that, looks a lot more reasonable today than it did back at $20,000 in early 2023. Got one for the good guys there. You got to give one to CBG on that one. So I want to simplify your life, though. How am I going to simplify your life? I am going to simplify your life by stating to you at the end of the day this weekend, there's only one chart to watch. This is your chart. Let's just see where Bitcoin closes. Because the way that I view the market right now, sure, you got WIF popping off. You know, maybe tomorrow Alchemy Pay will be up 5%. Maybe the following day H-bar's up 6%. Those moves are nothing. We're not here for 5 and 6% moves or even an 11% move in WIF. What we're here for is when we wake up and we shit our pants because you have XRP out of nowhere is up 50%. The following day, Ethereum Classic, which hasn't done dick, is up 80%. Those are the days we're here for, right? And what I'm saying to you is those days are not going to occur until Bitcoin begins to have that moment, right? Similar to the dream that I shared with you from several days back, right? We're going to wake up. I don't speak about things on this channel that are not factual in nature with some level of probability based on history, okay? Wow, I spat that out. no time. I'm not here for the hype. All right? You're going to wake up one day, whether it's, Tuesday, April 9th, and you're just going to see a big fucking green Jesus candle. Not that high, but you get the point. There's just going to be a big candle, and it's going to be a 10% plus move in Bitcoin. That is the moment where we are on alert that we're going to see funds begin to shift into into altcoins. And there's also going to be additional amounts of FOMO created in the market where an increasing number of retail participants will begin to fire up that Coinbase app or look into Coinbase or Robinhood or whatever platform they want to use, right? Robinhood will begin to relist certain assets. All these fun things will happen. And of course, at some point, many months out, we'll get into the joys of China banning Bitcoin for the 5,000th time. But for now, that is what we're waiting for. So again, I would encourage you, unless if you're in a specific, trade opportunity or something like that, you got to manage that trade. I would encourage you to just, at this point, to simplify your life if you want to focus on crypto at all this weekend. Of course, I'd encourage some of you to touch grass, get out there, and get away from your computers. I would encourage you just to look at the price of Bitcoin. That's it. Because really nothing is going to fully fire off in this market until you see that big surge in value in Bitcoin, right? And again, I'm leaning towards the next several days just being chipping and chopping. I don't think we're going to see the move next week. It could be the following week. It could be the week after that. It could be the week after that. I think we're going to get some consolidation here, which is good for the market. You'll have some of your altcoins run here and there. But again, it'll allow these technical indicators to cool off a little bit. It'll allow the bears to increasingly remain confident that we're at some triple top, which is just fucktardery at its finest. How many times have I said that? I've been spot on with that call, fucktardery. How many times have I said the word fucktardery on this channel? And every single time the fucktardery played out, right? We will at some point get bearish, not only industry, we will at some point get bearish in terms of what we can expect from price action. Now is not the time, for the love of God. We are going to look back on this time and wish we had even more capital to deploy into the markets based on expectations I have shared with you. So let us chart a few charts because we got a few minutes here. Let's chart a few charts. Cassius, I spoke about Casper yesterday. You could check out the 1-year anniversary. Redwan, you're welcome, my friend. Glad to have you aboard as part of the community. Juan, welcome in. Always appreciate having you in the live stream. Yeah, so I had to double check what the expression meant, but touch grass. I'm not talking about smoking up. I'm talking about touching grass means getting away from this and all electronic devices, getting out there and just enjoying Mother Nature. Happy Easter, Kevin. Happy Easter indeed. Guys, let's get into some questions. I know that Cassius, I think it was you. I'm not going to be able to chart all three of these, brother. But I think yesterday you had a question on sauce, so we'll take a look at that. And then we'll get into the next question here. Guys, if I could live stream all day, I would. But alas, I can't. Actually, I've had this conversation before with my significant other, and I've thought about this. I wouldn't chart all day. Honestly, the way my day would be laid out. By the way, this is a beautiful chart. Beautiful. Actually, the way my day would be laid out, I'd chart a little bit in the morning. I'd go get my workout routine in, come back for a live stream, spend some time outdoors, grill up some salmon or some Chilean sea bass, maybe pan-sear some scallops with a nice wine. Beautiful wife, a dog, maybe a kid, I don't know. And maybe smoke a cigar, That is my fantasy. That is my fantasy world. Someday it will be a reality. Cassius, let me just tell you something, and I'm straight with you guys. This is a beautiful chart. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Oh, saucer swap. I've heard of this. I know what saucer swap is. Now, first off, actually, I'm going to point something out you might not expect. Loving this chart. Look at this thing. Look at this nice parabolic price action here. Now, I'll continue to repeat the things I repeat to you guys, but there are formations in charts which repeat themselves. They're not exactly the same, but they certainly rhyme. And the reason is because trading behavior, emotional investment behavior, human emotions, bots, algorithms, all that stuff is baked into the charts, okay? That's what formulates the views that we're looking at here, okay? Now, the nice thing about this move is it's not a straight shot up. Do you see what we're doing here? We got a low, a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I mean, nothing but higher highs and higher lows, and they're gradual stair steps up. Now, I will say, this was a big move right here. So I will tell you this, actually. I want to focus on one key area of support. I don't want to lose this area right here, okay? Anything between 7.6 cents and 9.6 cents. I don't want to lose that area, because if you lose that area, no, I'd actually, I'm going to back off from that. If you lose 7 cents to 9.6 cents, you're increasing the chances that you're going to drop pretty significantly. So let's just maintain 7 cents. This is your whole buy area, okay? Now, if I was looking to establish a position here, I personally would not be aggressive. On top of the parabolic move we've seen here, again, my expectations in the market, we're going to see a little chip and chop. That chip and chop might provide you an opportunity to buy somewhere in here. Of course, we could take this down to the lower time frames, which we're not going to do to talk about other areas of price confluence. But right now, this is a very, very, very strong uptrend. I love it. Price indicators, we want this stochastic RSI to cross back up. It's at 0. There's no momentum right now. But again, we had a huge move up from 7.5 cents all the way to 25. So that's probably why, right? So we want some of these technical indicators to cool off, but at the same time, we want momentum to pick back up on the stochastic RSI. I want that thing to cross back up and get above 20. Now, in terms of areas of resistance, I think it's pretty clear cut. I would just draw an area of resistance right there and just keep it real simple. The all-time high is at 25 cents. That's what we have to break above, right? But I wouldn't overreach here. I would not overreach. Allow this thing to come back to you. If you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, you could buy at 12 cents. I would not be, though. This could be undergoing some sort of an ABC correction. You could see this thing pop up here and then pop right back down into this area before going back off. Now, remember, if we were to come back to the zone that I spoke to here on saucer swap, let's say we came back here and then moved back up. Guys, what is unhealthy about that? We're doing nothing but this. Higher highs, higher lows, right? So extremely healthy trend. So be patient. If you want to get back into this thing or establish a position, I would suggest 9.6 to 7 cents. Never financial advice, though. Hope you appreciate it. There was another question that came in here. Can you chart POW? Yes, Kevin, we have time. We can chart POW. Did we take a look at this one before? I feel like we may have looked at this one. Oh, this is an AI play. Guys, you got to alert me to these charts. Look at this. My community knows these charts. I mean, this thing just pulled like a 8X. Kevin, where the hell are you at, brother? Where are you at? Why are you not alerting the community about an 8X project? I mean, look at this chart. This is beautiful. We had a trade opportunity here. Oh, my God. This is beautiful. Another beautiful chart. I give my community credit here. I mean, you guys know your shit. We're going to be on Bitmart. Let's take a look at it on Bitmart. We're going to, not a whole lot of price data here. We're going to go to a 3-day. Love it, love it, love it. Love this price action. Oh, my God. This is the sexiest thing I've seen all day. I say that pretty routinely, don't I? This is the sexiest thing I've seen all day. We got this falling wedge slash bull pole pennant, whatever, that's playing to the upside, right? Now what's going on here? Now it looks like we might be doing the same thing again. I'm not saying we are, but at the moment, of course, you have to understand, good chartists don't make things up. Good chartists revise their view based on emerging data, right? My view right now is we could have another bull pennant, right? But that's based on my view today. If price action tomorrow does this and falls down here, well, we can't draw a bull pennant like that, right? So I'd have to revise my view of the chart. But right now, there's a clear possible bull pennant here. Chart looks incredibly healthy. Now, this is on a 3-day. Let's talk about areas of price confluence here. Let's just put on the 20 simple moving average, and let's put on that raging. We got the rage. Oh, we got Tony the Bull BTC's raging bull is on. That's a clear indicator. All right. So I use that indicator all the fracking time. Let's see. Support. There. There's a lot of areas of support I'm drawing here. Bear with me. I kind of like that right there. So these are your major areas of support. Of course, we also have the 20-day simple moving average we're above, which technically should act as an area of support in the 3-day if we still have a strong trend. So really what I would point out to you, Kevin, is beyond you should have alerted the community. Just saying. There is an area of support right here. Okay, area of support right here. That's what I see between, it looks like 53 cents and 38 cents, right? So I think it's entirely possible and healthy if we stay patient. Of course, we've wicked here. Now, another observation is possible we could come down here. Anybody else have another observation on this chart? I have an observation. I do. Can I speak, please? Okay, thank you. So this is my observation. On this 3-day candlestick, what did we do? We touched here. We had another touchy here. We had another touchy here. And we had a fourth touch here. No, not too many touchies. We don't like too many touchies. Now, what have I said about continually backtesting support in this case? Well, I've said 3 touches is fine, right? If we're talking about support, we've come back 3 times and we've touched it. Okay. If you come back a 4th time, you're getting increased likelihood that that support, it's not signaling strength. It's actually going to be weakened by hitting it so many times, and it's going to break. I do not want to see price come back to 52.5 cents. If I do, I'm setting up buy limit orders for anything under here in this orange zone because it's probably going to break, okay? We're going to go below it. Same thing on the resistance. If we come up to the resistance a multitude of times, here's your clear all-time high here. If we came up and hit it 3 times, I mean, that resistance is so weak. I'm expecting the 4th time we come up there, it's more than likely going to break. I don't know what the probabilities are, but they're pretty damn high. So right now, this is basically what we're doing. We're ping-ponging, right? This is like the old game Pong. I mean, that wasn't before my time, but at least it came out at a time where I really don't remember it. So that is actually a little bit before my time. But this is just ping-ponging back and forth. This could go any direction, But if I was looking to establish a position, my bets would be, and I'd be patient, I'd be waiting for this area in here I spoke to, right? And that's your area of resistance up there. Everything's looking good. Looks like we're going to get a cross down in the MACD. This thing's going to print on Sunday. Yeah, just be patient. That's what I see in the chart. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. I know there's a few more questions coming in. We're already at 40 minutes. I am your roaring kitty. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what that means, Cassius, but I know what you're talking about. Guys, I wanted to express a gratitude for you making time to come in on a Friday. I hope you get out there, do something fun and interesting. I mean, if I could paint the evening for you, my exciting evening this evening, I'm about to make dinner, and I'm gonna sit down and I might watch myself some Ancient Aliens. That's the way I roll. So it is a beautiful day, though. I don't know. Let's check the forecast real quick. You guys got good weather coming in this weekend? What is the weather like this weekend? I'm trying to get something going. Oh, Saturday and Sunday are looking beautiful. I'm definitely going to make some plans this weekend. I don't know what the hell they're going to be. Yeah, some people are good at getting back to you, and some people are not good at getting back to you. So we'll see. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I probably won't see you until Monday unless something significant happens this weekend, which I don't foresee happening. For those who celebrate, happy Easter, happy Good Friday as well. And we will talk on Monday. Until next time, let's all spread awareness. Let's carry the education forward, everybody.